We are in our agenda. So we are on the third week, and so the assignment will be due later this Sunday, the first assignment, and we'll introduce the second assignment. It will go out and will be due in 2 weeks, right? So 2 weeks from this coming Sunday, right? So yes, up to this point we've been talking about how to design databases using UML, class diagrams, and starting from a narrative, being able to decide what is a class, what is an attribute, the cardinality, generalization, associations, and whatnot. So all the using a conceptual model, right, a very high level model, to then convert it into something that we can actually implement in a relational database. And we spoke how if we already have a schema, if we want to modify anything, it's always easier to first convert it into a UML representation, do the modifications there, and then convert it back into SQL. Right? So much easier to work at a conceptual level. So today, instead, we're going to dive in a little bit more into relational databases and schemas and how to interact with them using SQL. That has been for the last couple of decades the kind of like the standard way of interacting with databases. We'll first introduce a little bit of the theoretical concepts behind SQL, and then we'll see that SQL is just one particular instantiation of that concept, but that any database would provide some of the same operations that we looked at early. So then we'll start for the next couple of weeks. We're going to be stuck on SQL land with all the basic commands that you would expect to be able to insert, remove, update, and manipulate data from SQL. So after these 2 weeks, then we'll start backing out a little bit. We're going to be doing less and less SQL as we progress. This SQL will allow us to manually interact with the database, right? Us sitting at a terminal, direct access to a database, and getting our hands dirty. Interacting with the actual data, with the rows and the tables and the fields. As we progress, we're going to be less and less, working with the database firsthand. Instead, we're going to be wrapping that data around an application, right? That we want to programmatically manipulate that data using programming languages such as Java or C# or any other programming language. So we'll talk about some of the libraries, the standard libraries that we use for communicating with databases. As an example of using applications, we'll build a small web application using JDBC as a means to talk to the database from a web front end. And then we'll talk about representing data in other ways, right? So certainly relational database is one way of representing them. Object-oriented ways is another way of representing data. And we'll talk about XML as just being yet another way of representing data. We'll see some of the challenges of converting between these two or mapping between the two. Some of them are much more verbose. Some of them have much richer data types than others, right? So it's not a trivial transformation, and that'll take us to our first exam, the midterm on June 20th. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the upcoming assignment.